Welcome to lecture 4. This is the last lecture. I would like to talk about the Japanese modernization and development of industries. This lecture contains many different aspects, something from the Meiji government introduction and to the Nobel Prize winners in Japan. I'm not going to follow each of them now. First, Meiji government. I would like to historically overview the politics. Meiji government strongly promoted civilization and progress policy to catch up to European and USA countries by introducing a new political and economic institutions, industrial development, military build-up, educational system, etc., while keeping independence by first improving unequal treaties with Western countries. Tokugawa shogunate government and strong fifth hand also started modernization at the end of Edo period before Meiji Revolution started. The Meiji government established national industries and factories that are later sold to Mitsui, Mitsubishi, and Sumitomo, other newly established financial conglomerate. They started to establish firstly light industries such as textile, ceramics industries, etc. Secondly, heavy and chemical industries along militaristic and imperialistic development of Japan. Japan's Industrial Revolution took off on its developmental course from 1886 and completed it during 1900, followed by industrial capital establishment during the following period, the Sino-Japanese War 1984 to 85, the Russo-Japanese War 1904 to 05, the First World War 1914 and 08. However, heavy and chemical industries needed raw materials such as iron and petroleum that are not available in Japanese islands, which pushed Japan to become an imperialistic country. Until the 1945, Japanese military power was developed or built up, such as the carrier plane, a famous carrier plane, Zero Fighter, and airplane carrier such as Akagi, and then battleship Yamato, and also Type 97 light tank. Those are the examples of Japanese military build-up. During the industrialization, the first hydropower supply in the world started for mining activity at Aspen, Colorado, USA in 1888. The first hydropower supply in Japan started for the Ashio mining in 1890. The second hydropower supply in Japan started for Kyoto City service in 1891. That was the third hydropower supply in the world. Electric power industries started services to Tokyo by hydropower in 1914, followed by all over Japan services during 1920s and 30s. High power, high voltage electric supply system was introduced in the Suiho Dam of the Yalu River, now in North Korea, in 1939 to 40. Hydropower was the major electric power source in Japan until 1950. After 1950, coal and petroleum became major power sources in Japan. Antenna invention by Mr. Yagi and Mr. Uda for receiving radio waves. Mr. Niwa and Mr. Kobayashi invented a telephotography technology, later facsimile transmission in 1929. Mr. Okabe invented a magnetron, which later became the microwave oven. Steel production increased to this amount year in 1934. Chemical industries started ammonia production themselves, facing export prohibition of sulfate ammonia in the 1920s. Japanese heavy and chemical industries became independent industries from the industries of Western countries. During the wartime, World War II, Japanese major cities were completely destroyed by massive, indiscriminate air attacks, including atomic bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki cities, in the end of the Second World War. After the Second World War, Japan started rebuilding all Japanese industries from zero level, supported by the USA government appropriation for relief in occupied areas and economic rehabilitation in occupied areas during 1946 and 51, which helped rapid rebuilding of Japanese industries with help of Canada, Mexico, Chile, Brazil, Argentina, Peru for food and subsistence goods. The Korean War created a special procurement boom for Japan that pushed rebuilding of Japanese industries when Japan started construction of the Shinkansen, so-called bullet train systems, and the highway between Tokyo and Osaka in 1953. Japan became the second largest economic power after USA in 1964. Now I try to switch a topic a little bit different way. Educational reform for industrial development are key for success. Meiji government promulgated educational laws including imperial universities, higher normal schools for girls, high schools, junior high schools, and primary schools from 1886 on after. Introduction of general education. Japanese literacy rate was the first place in the world at the end of 19th century. General conscription system was also introduced.